Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
It's Friday night, March the
16th.
right
Yeah.
day before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have moved to Kingman, Arizona.
Kingman, Arizona.
Today we traveled about 133 miles from Quartzsite, about 2.5-hour drive.
Yeah.
It was a great day to drive. It was a beautiful sunny day.
Beautiful sunny day. Yep. Nice. I think the temperature was 74 degrees most of the day.
So when we left off, we were headed back to LA to visit with Jen and Jarrett and Wilder. And to get to LA from the Redwood Forest, we took 101, the 101 right down the coast. Stopped for a couple pictures at Monterey Bay. And then we headed south to catch the 5.
And we did that at Bakersfield.
Right. The 5 is the fastest way to get down over the mountains. And on our way to Michael's from LA, we had to go through, and on the way back, we had to go through an area called Tejon Pass. And we had no idea what that was on our way to San Francisco, except it was a big hill. A mountain. Yeah, you go up over a mountain. The ascent on the northbound side is pretty gradual, but the descent is
only 5 miles long.
Only 5 miles long.
7% rate of decline. But so going south, we had to go up over the mountain, and that was a 4,100 foot increase in elevation in 5 miles, and we had didn't have any trouble at all going up over it. As a matter of fact, I think we did 40 miles an hour the whole way up over it, and I was pretty pleased with the coach.
Yeah, so she did really good. She just walked right up over that mountain, and the descent on the southbound is nowhere near what it is on the northbound. So we got through Tejon Pass okay. Got down to Pomona, California, which is on the east side of LA. And we stayed at a KOA over there called Pomona Fairplex. It was a nice little campground.
Yeah, it was a nice little campground.
It was about 30 miles from Jen and Jarrett's house, but with traffic, it was a good 45-minute drive.
Again.
Yeah. So, but we had a great time with them, and Wilder has really changed over the month that we didn't get to see him, and he's growing up, and he's got his own little personality, and we just had a really good time being with them. On Sunday, we went to the races in Santa Anita.
Horse races.
The horse races, and it was like an old horse race park. It was it was really very cool.
Yeah.
And so we had lunch there, and we bet on some horses, and we won a little, and we gave a little back, and it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. Yeah, and Wilder was great.
Yep.
And so then on Monday morning we left to come to go to Quartzsite.
Back to Quartzsite.
Knowing that we were going to boondock for about 4 days. We thought we would leave on Thursday or Friday. We ended up leaving this morning. While there, we got to go to Lake Havasu.
Saw the London Bridge. And had some Mike's, Jersey Mike's
subs. along the riverbank with spring break going on.
Spring break going on.
That was very interesting as they were having a tattoo contest.
Yeah.
And lots of music and lots of partying going on, and it was kind of fun to just sit on the shore and just watch it all happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And then yesterday we went to another place called Palm Canyon. We drove about 25 miles into this mountain. And it was called Palm Canyon. Mm-hmm. So we got, I had no idea what we were doing. Mark knew all about it.
Well, I didn't know a lot about it, just know it was there. I wanted to see it. And so we got there, and it's a huge rock. I don't know how high it goes, but anyway, there's a canyon that goes up in there, and you can walk up in there, and apparently there's palm trees, full-size palm trees that are growing in the crevices up there. So that was pretty cool.
That's why they call it Palm Canyon.
Right.
Growing right out of the mountain rock.
Mm-hmm.
They were just really beautiful, and we do have some pictures of that. I didn't realize it was going to be a hike to get into the canyon. We parked the car in a parking lot. There was one other vehicle there and two people that were on the trail, and I said to Mark, look at those people over there. They looked really small, and they were pretty far away, and he said, yeah, that's where we're going. And it's like, what? What do you mean we're going to do that? Like, we didn't bring any water or anything. And so we headed on the trail. And how long do you think the trail was?
Oh, the trail is probably a good, maybe not a half mile. It's probably about a quarter mile. Maybe a little over a quarter mile long.
So we're hiking up the trail, and it's a nice trail.
It's a pretty good, climb.
Yeah, and so I said to Mark at one point, you go. He was walking at a good clip, so I said, you go ahead, and I'll just catch up. And I did catch up, and he's like, I'm going to go further. Well, I said, I'm not going further. I'm going to stand right here, and I will wait for you to come back. In the meantime, the other two people we passed them, and they were on their way back to the parking lot. So I stood there for quite a while, and I realized that I could see the palm trees coming out of the canyon. And when we got into the canyon, I said to Mark, okay, this is Palm Canyon. He's like, no, there's got to be more than this. Okay, so he kept on going, and I stood there and waited, and after quite a while, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I looked up and I could see him way off in the distance. And so I yelled at him, called Mark, and it echoed in the canyon, and he waved to me. I could see that, and he kept on going. He had a little ways more to go. So
at this time there was no more trail. You basically had to climb rocks to get where I wanted to go, because I thought that there was more palms up there, that there was a valley or something that opened up into this oasis or whatever, but there wasn't. But anyway, go ahead.
So I'm waiting, and I can see him up at the top, and okay, and I don't know, I must have turned my attention to something else, and I look up and I can't see him, but he had to go up. There was a valley he had to walk through to get up there, and I'm like, okay, so he's probably on his way back. So I yelled at him, Mark, and he answered me, and
I said I was on my way back.
Yep. I said, are you okay? Yep, I'm okay. And then there was another sentence, but I didn't understand what he said.
I said, I'm taking my time.
So I just kept waiting. And I thought, after a while, I thought to myself, well, he should be here, because it sounded like he was not very far away when he returned my communication. And so I yelled out to Mark, and nothing.
I heard nothing.
And I hollered out to Mark a couple of times, and I heard nothing. So I started walking. Well, then I realized from where I was, I didn't know where to go because there was no trail. It was just rock. So I thought, I can't go any further. If I fall and get hurt, then there's a problem. And so I yelled to him, and I was getting angry, and I'm like, Mark, answer me. You answer me. And he didn't. And so I said to him, I have to go get help. And so I started back down the trail. And there's no service in the canyon, so I couldn't call him. I couldn't call anybody. So I'm headed down the canyon, and I'm saying my Hail Marys like you can't believe. And I get down to where I have service, and I call 911. And nicest lady answered, and she's like, okay, what's your name? Where are you? And I said, we're walking up the trail, and he went further than I did, and we were communicating, and now he won't answer me. I don't know if he's fallen. And she didn't know where I was. And she said, give me his phone number, and I'll try to call him. And she did. And she came back and said it went right to voicemail. And anyway, this was just a whole... So, and she still didn't know where I was. I was giving her all the information that I knew that I could give her. And I said, how about my phone? Can you get the location from my phone? And she said, well, you're walking. And I said, I can stop walking. And she's like, no, you keep walking, and then we know where you are and that you're safe. And when you get to the car, then we'll know where you are. And it's like, okay. So I kept walking, and it probably wasn't another 2-3 minutes. And I looked up, and there's Mark standing. He's coming back up the trail.
From the car.
From the car.
I had passed her. Another part of there wasn't a trail, so I just had to make my way down, and just realized that I was down by the parking lot. So I went up to the parking lot, thinking that Patty is already there because I had whistled for her. I had called her name. She didn't answer me, so I thought, well, she must have gone back down to the car. I said, although she doesn't have the key, so she'll have to sit down. Got up to the car, no Patty. I thought, now I've got a problem. Now I take off this sweatshirt. I am just sweating like crazy. I've got to go back up the hill. And so I did, and probably about 50 yards or so, there she was coming down the hill on the phone. So
with 911.
With
so
911.
I tell the lady on the phone, I found him, and she's like, oh, that's wonderful. Where was he? And so then I said something to Mark, where were you or whatever, and then I started apologizing to the lady at 911. I'm so sorry I had to call you. And she's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do because this happened to a woman yesterday. And I'm like, okay, thank you, and hung up. But that was like, well, that was scary. I was scared. What am I going to do? After I get off the phone with 911, I'm going to have to call Michael. I don't know what Michael was going to do for me, but anyway, that was our story from yesterday. So a lot of memories there.
Yeah. Quite a few pictures.
Yeah. Really beautiful place.
Yeah, beautiful place.
Really beautiful place.
And then we packed up this morning and came up to Kingman. Came back up through 95 through Lake Havasu City. Up to 40, came across 40, east on 40 to Kingman, and we'll be here for the next couple of days. I think we're leaving Sunday
morning, yeah.
Sunday
we'll
morning.
move on to Williams, Arizona, and more adventures.
Yeah, Grand Canyon and Petrified Forest and Painted Desert, and then we're heading home. So kind of a long video tonight, but we'll also add some pictures to it, and hope you're all enjoying them. And if you have any comments, certainly leave comments down below, and we will answer questions or whatever you want. Just let us know, okay?
So we love you all. Can't wait to see you, and we'll be back.
Yep, looking forward to being back in St. Mary's and seeing our friends again. Okay?
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
All right.
All right.
Love you all.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.